Today I want to give you 10 watercolor tips that you can use immediately. Number 1, lower contrast as things move back. If your paintings feel flat, this might be the reason. In real life, distance softens everything. There's actually science behind this. It's called atmospheric perspective. Tiny particles in the air scatter light as it travels towards us. The further something is, the more light gets scattered, and the softer and lighter it appears. So in watercolor terms, your backgrounds need to be a lighter value and have softer edges. So next time you paint, focus on your background to be lighter than your foreground, and this will instantly create depth in your painting. Number 2, fewer textures in the background. Texture and details naturally moves forward. Your brain reads texture as closeness because when objects are near us, we can see their surface details. When they're far away, we can't. So if you're dry brushing, adding gradulation, or putting little marks everywhere in the background, you're accidentally pulling that background forward. So try this instead. Flat washes in the background and save your detail and textures for the foreground. By this, you'll naturally create separation in your painting. Number 3, overlap shapes. This one is simple, but it's so powerful. If one object slightly overlaps another, your brain instantly understands which one is closer. No shading required, no extra rendering, just overlapping. This works because our visual system is wired to naturally be able to determine that obstructions create depth. If one thing is in front of another, naturally we think that it's closer than the other object. So next time you paint buildings, trees, or even a boat, let them overlap just a little. This is one of the fastest ways to add depth without adding too much complexity. Number 4, simplify shapes before lines. When you squint at a scene, you don't see outlines. You see big lights and dark masses. Start by blocking in large shape values first. Forget about the windows or the tiny branches. If the big shapes work, the painting will work. Structure should definitely come first in your painting. Number 5, mix before you paint, not during panic. I confess, we've all done it. You're halfway through your wash and you realize you don't have enough paint on your palette. Now you're rushing, you're guessing, you're hoping you can recreate the same color. That's called stress painting. So instead, pre-mix your puddles. If you pre-mix, you control consistency. If you mix mid-stroke, chaos is in charge. Slow down before you start so that you're prepared with your paints before you start the process. Remember, slow is fast, fast is slow. Number 6, test mixes on scrap paper first. If you're at this point with watercolor, you probably know that watercolor naturally dries lighter. You might ask why? Because the water evaporates, the pigment particles settle and spread out differently on paper surfaces. So if you have less moisture, the lighter the appearance. But that's the beautiful thing about watercolor. You need to remember that your beautiful dark mix on your palette, it's going to dry softer than you think. So test it out on scrap paper first. Taking that extra 5 seconds can totally save your entire painting. Number 7, shine means too wet. Look at your paper. Is it glossy? Does it shine? If it does, then it's very wet. When paper is shiny, water molecules are still pooling on the surface, and paint at that moment, it will explode outward. Sometimes that's great if that's what you're going for, but sometimes it's a disaster. If you want control, you'll want to wait for that shine to dull. That way your paper will just be damp, and honestly, that's the sweet spot. It can take some practice, but it's worth it. Number 8. Gravity is part of timing. Watercolor naturally obeys physics. The paint particles, they like to ride on the water. Now, water naturally wants to run downhill. So instead of fighting it, use it to your advantage. Tilt your board slightly. Watch how the wash flows. You're not just painting, you're guiding fluid dynamics. So once you realize that gravity is actually one of your tools in your toolbox, your watercolor process will feel less random and it will feel more like a collaboration. Number 9. Push the darks. Most beginner painters don't fail because of a bad drawing. They fail because they often don't push their darks dark enough. Light only looks bright when it's next to something dark. That's contrast. Our eyes perceive brightness relatively, so if everything sits in a middle value, nothing stands out. Be brave with your darks. Darken your shadows. Create that contrast. That extra contrast will definitely brighten up your painting, and that's where the drama of your picture will come out. Number 10. Protect the white of the paper. This one's huge. In watercolor, the brightest white you'll ever have is the untouched paper. Once it's gone, it's gone. White paint can't truly replicate it because watercolor works through transparency. The glow comes from light bouncing off the paper and traveling back through the pigment to your eye. That glow only happens if the paper stays clean. So before you start, remember you need to decide where your brightest highlights are going to be. So there you go, 10 quick watercolor tips that you can use today to improve your painting. Please join me on my journey of reaching 10,000 subscribers during this year of 2026. And join me each week for more painting videos like this, and enjoy painting.